Talk about a crusher. Yes! Oh!
Are you kidding me?
And gone!
Welcome back to the Schoolyard Sports podcast. I'm the host of this podcast, Lane Frank. We are now on episode 255. Guess we're 255 episodes through, and I got an action-packed episode planned for you. Rory McIlroy won the Masters. NBA playoffs have begun. The transfer portal is going crazy in college basketball. We have the NFL draft next week. We got a good month of March already done with baseball. Now we're in April, getting some teams hot, getting some teams cold. We're going to break it all down in episode 255. Stay tuned. Let's start out episode 255, how we always do, with our headlines and then the NBA. The play-in tournament is going on tonight at the time of recording, but a guy who's supposed to be playing in the play-in tournament is Stephen Curry, but on a minutes restriction. Now, I don't know how many years Curry has left on his career, but to have a minutes restriction in a playoff, a must-win game, is a bit ridiculous to me by Steve Kerr and by Stephen Curry. Now, say Steph plays 30 minutes instead of 17 in this game and he, tears his ACL. Is that going to end his career? Well, then so be it. But I don't think those extra 15 minutes that he's going to be on the court is going to be so catastrophic for Stephen Curry unless it really does take that big of a toll on his body. So for that reason, I say this minutes restriction they're putting him on is stupid in the playoff game. Now for Luka Doncic, he's made his way back from Europe after seeking out special treatment, and won't know if he'll play yet, but the Lakers certainly need him. Their best player, LeBron James, not the number one option for the Lakers anymore. He has been in the absence of Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic, but they desperately need Luka back. It's looking like they're not getting Austin Reeves back for the playoffs either. Now, Charlotte is in this play-in game right now at the time of recording, and a tight one against Miami, but I can guarantee you the winner of that game will make the NBA playoffs, will win that 7 vs. 8 game or 8 vs. 9, 8 vs. 10 game in the play-in. Another thing I want to point out in the NBA right here. The San Antonio Spurs are ranked the second seed in the Western Conference. This is something we've known for a long time, but I think it's impressive to go from the second worst team in the NBA to the second best. They picked number 2 in the draft last year. They took Dylan Harper, and now they get the second best team in the NBA. We see this trend go on in sports sometimes. New England Patriots, they picked number 3 in last year's draft. Well, they ended up being in the Super Bowl this year. So it's easy to go from worst to first, it seems like nowadays. Work for the Spurs, work for the Patriots. Who'll be the next team to go from the worst of the league to the first of the league? Spurs and Patriots both have been doing that at an extreme level past 2 years. Now for my New York Knicks, they are the 3 seed against the Atlanta Hawks. Back in 2021, the first season of this show, they played the Hawks in the playoff series. Didn't go so well for the Knicks. I think it was the pressure of just being back in the playoffs that took New York off the edge. Will they win this time against Atlanta? We're just going to have to wait and see. That kind of was the start, the pinnacle of Trae Young's career. He hasn't done anything since then of that level. Will the Hawks get back to that level without Trae Young in Atlanta now? Now, in the NFL, we just got basically the NFL draft going on next week. We've got some unfortunate news about Ruben Bain this week. We've got him falling. We've got guys like Sonny Styles rising, Orville Reese rising, a quarterback, Ty Simpson, maybe finding his way into the first round. I'm going to give you a 5-pick mock draft later on in the episode. Stay tuned or skip ahead to that if you want to see it. Now, in the MLB, my Mets suck. The Mets suck. Okay? It is a tough time in Queens. Now, if you know me, my sports fandom really goes Michigan football, Michigan basketball, then a little bit of a gap, then the New York Mets, and it's a huge gap after that because I love watching the Mets. I am in it to win it for 162 games every single year, and it's tough the way things are going right now. Yes, they are injured, but the starting pitching has been pretty abysmal at times. Now, it's good when guys like Peralta pitch or McClain pitch, but someone like David Peterson, when it's his day, not good. And Clay Holmes, I'll put him in the good category as well. But for David Peterson and Kodai Senga, their starts have been abysmal. The bullpen has not been good. Luke Weaver has been a terrible pickup. You can't even get Devin Williams in there much because you don't have the lead much in the ninth inning. So the Mets are getting bombed early in the season, and it's tough to see. A guy who got bombed last night was Garrett Crochet of the Boston Red Sox, really just giving up a ton of runs, did not play well. 11 runs, 9 hits, something like that. Garrett Crochet, a complete abomination on the field for Boston the other night. Now, the Pirates, their bats are finally coming to life in this Paul Skeens era. He said, it's nice when you have to pitch and you get runs. People were worried that, Paul Skeens' career was going to end up like Jacob deGrom, just no run support, no wins, and, just a good ERA, but nothing outside of that, no wins. they're getting them some wins now with their bats. They're coming alive, the Pirates. A guy who's coming alive right now in the MLB, someone who used to be a top prospect that just struggled their first few years of their career, but is now finding their footing in the MLB, is Jordan Walker of the St. Louis Cardinals. Most home runs in the MLB. This guy's on fire to start the season. He's in great company with guys like Mark McGwire, a few other players. For just the way he's played so far, this season has been at the level we thought he could be at one point in his career 5 years ago. He didn't do it then. Well, he's doing it now. Jordan Walker, special talent for the St. Louis Cardinals, and he's showing it right now. Mike Trout, he's coming back to normal as well. Had 2 home runs the other night against the New York Yankees. Played some great baseball. Trout, I just don't love the team he's on, but he's coming to life, Mike Trout. Now, in college basketball, to wrap up these headlines, Mike Malone has taken the North Carolina head coaching job, and Louisville is doing some business in the transfer portal, picking up Flory Badunga and Jackson Shellstad in a package deal. Shellstad, the Oregon point guard, was injured this year, but he's going to be one of the best guards in the country next season. And for Badunga, the best rim protector in college basketball, that's a great pickup. Let's see if they get some other guys. John Blackwell, Wisconsin guard, they're still in contention for. But Pat Kelsey, Louisville head coach, not messing around when it comes to the portal. Louisville has always been at the top of the NIL game, and they're showing that again this transfer portal cycle. That's about for the headlines. We got a great rest of the episode coming up. Now, take of the week. This week's take of the week. Well, I want to talk about the transfer portal and NIL because it seems like I'm always talking about that, but it seems like it's an ever-changing subject, especially in college basketball. So here's my take of the week, clear statement out to you. The transfer portal is more harmful than NIL has been, is, or ever will be. Transferring is ridiculous in college athletics. You think any college student can just wake up, say, hey, my freshman year, I'm going to go here. My sophomore year, I'll go here. Then I'll level up my junior year to a better institution, and my senior year, I'll wrap it up at Harvard. No, that's not what they say. Okay, just not what happens. I think you should have the right to transfer after your freshman year. Any college student really does have the right to transfer after their freshman year. It's just nature. You might not like the school, you might want to leave. Okay, if you want to transfer again, you should have to graduate, or you have to sit out for a year. Now, no college basketball player is going to sit out a full season, so you should just have to graduate. I mean, some athletes can graduate in 2 or 3 years. Good for them. Then they can transfer a billion times if they want, because who cares? You've graduated at that point. Go get your fake PhD as a 6th-year senior, okay? I know it takes way longer to get a PhD than that, but I'm just saying. It is ridiculous the amount of times we let these guys transfer, and that's why the NIL market is what it is. Okay, I think it'd be cool if we had the NIL market where, let's say, I mean, this might be a ridiculous claim, but Cam Boozer, that's what NIL is built for Cam Boozer to maybe come back to Duke for his sophomore year for $5 million. Not for Flory Badunga to leave Kansas for Louisville just because they're going to pay him $5 million and the Jayhawks won't. We have no clue if Louisville is a better basketball situation or personal situation for Flory Badunga. We don't. NIL was built for these guys to stay in school longer, I think, and get paid in school. But when Danny Wolf is a first-round pick and is getting paid $2.5 million and Flory Badunga is making double that next season, when this guy Wolf is a first-round pick and Badunga is still college basketball as a transfer, well, I find that a bit ridiculous. I think NIL numbers would go down significantly if we limited the amount of transfers. I think you would see cool numbers where, yes, a grad transfer could pick up some good money and they'll be encouraged to stay in school an extra year and level up their game. But don't let these guys transfer so much. Again, transfer portal is going to do way more harm, has done way more harm than NIL ever has, ever will. That's my take of the week. Don't let these guys transfer so much. Stay in school, but don't transfer 3 or 4 times. That's my take of the week. Now, top 5. This week's top 5 is my top 5 bold predictions for this year's NBA playoffs. Let's hop into it. Number 5, LeBron goes vintage mode. They win the series against the Rockets, and they set up a Lakers vs. Thunder series. That's must-see TV. LeBron is going to have to do it by himself in this series against the Rockets. He's going to outlast KD and everybody else in that Rockets squad to get this win in the series and to play the Oklahoma City Thunder in the second round. So that's the 5th best bowl prediction I've got for you right here. Number 4, this one's a little bit spicier, a little more hot of a take. The T-Wolves upset the Nuggets. It's a 6v3 series. It's similar to what we had last year where the Timberwolves were playing the Lakers and they won that series in 5 games. Then the Timberwolves went on to beat the Nuggets after that. They do it again this year. Timberwolves upset the Nuggets. Number 3, Pistons lose in the first round. Now, I don't know who they're going to play. It could be the Heat. It could be the Hornets. I mean, I don't know the result of that game yet. It could also be the Sixers or it could be the Magic. I think any of those teams could beat the Pistons in a 7-game series, and one of them will. So that's number 3. The Pistons do lose first round. I just don't know how healthy Cade Cunningham is. I don't know how ready this team is for that moment. So for that reason, call me a hater. This is bold predictions. This is my hot take. That's number 3. The Pistons lose first round as the 1 seed. Number 2, the Celtics get payback for what happened last year against the New York Knicks, and they get to the finals versus the Oklahoma City Thunder. They'll probably end up playing the Knicks in the second round, and they will get the win in that series. Unfortunately, as a New York Knicks fan, I hate to say it, but they do get that win. They get to the finals. And then for the Oklahoma City side of things, they win that series against the Lakers. They go on to win another one, and they make it to back-to-back finals appearances. So we've got a Celtics versus Thunder NBA Finals. The 2024 NBA champion going up against the 2025 NBA champion. I think the Thunder win it all, guys. I do. I mean, what a great year they had. 64-18, a historic second half, a historic first half of the season they had. I mean, just a great season all around. I mean, they've got 6 guys averaging double digits a game. They're a little bit more guard dependent this year, which I will say. Chet Holmgren is really one of their only true forwards on this team, and Isaiah Hartenstein. But I mean, Jalen Williams is a big guy. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander isn't too small. This bench is talented. Guys like off the bench, like Cason Wallace. You've got other guys, Isaiah Joe, Jared McCain. I mean, just a great squad for them right now. And I'm excited to see them do it again. Back-to-back champions, the Oklahoma City Thunder. That's my top bold prediction for the NBA playoffs. Now, did you know? This week's Did You Know? Well, it's about Augusta, the Masters. Did you know the famous green jacket never leaves Augusta, the course, permanently? Winners can only keep their jacket for 1 year, except for Gary Player, who kept his jacket, I think, for a very long time, just under a stipulation that he can never wear it out in public. I think it's in some museum now. But did you know, if you win a green jacket, you can keep it for 1 year, and then you gotta give it back to Augusta forever. You get to wear it when you're there for the Masters, but you don't get to wear it outside of that. Did you know that? Leave it down in the comments. That's about it for Did You Know this week. Now, my spotlight for the week is on the new North Carolina head coach outside the family, like everybody wants to say here, Mike Malone. It's the first time North Carolina has hired outside of the Tar Heel family, seems like ever, for their basketball head coaching ranks, but they're being innovative with it, and it's with Mike Malone. If you hated the Bill Belichick hire for football, you're going to hate this one too. But this one's a lot better of a hire than Bill Belichick. For Bill Belichick, he was a guy who thought never would work in the college game, and really hasn't so far. I mean, it's been 1 season, but we know how it has turned out so far in the tenure for Bill Belichick. For Mike Malone, it's a little bit different. Mike Malone won an NBA championship 3 years ago. He's an incredible head coach. He's developed many guys over his career, and what makes you think he can't do it in the college game? Michigan head coach Dusty May, well, he just built together a great team, a national championship team, off of using the transfer portal and recruiting and just coaching up these guys. Mike Malone, I think, can do the exact same thing at North Carolina, and he's already done some of it. Mike Malone is a great head coach. He's gotten the most out of guys like Jamal Murray in their career, Nikola Jokic, one of the best players of all time. You could say Nikola Jokic skill-wise. And who developed him? Mike Malone. What about a guy like Christian Brown? A guy you didn't think would be good in the NBA? Well, he's been a centerpiece of those Nuggets teams that Mike Malone had for a very long time. He's going to go hard in the transfer portal. Here he has, potentially getting guys like Juke Harris, getting the best player on Virginia Tech last year, getting really good players to come to Chapel Hill, making Chapel Hill great again, is what Mike Malone is going to do with North Carolina. Here he got rid of 5-star recruit Dylan Mingo. Some people are going to say it's Mingo decommitting, but Mingo wanted to stay. Mike Malone said, no, get up out of here. I don't need a freshman point guard. I need an experienced guy, and we're going to go win a championship. He knows what he's doing. I mean, Mike Malone wants to win early. Did in the NBA, already won a championship 3 years ago, and he's coming for glory again. If he wins the championship with North Carolina, I don't know if he jumped ship so soon to go to the NBA. I know his daughter's at North Carolina, so you might say when his daughter leaves, he'll go back to the NBA. Well, I don't know if there's an NBA job better than North Carolina basketball right now, unless the Lakers come open, unless somebody really good comes open. New Orleans Pelicans are not a better job than North Carolina. That's just a plain fact. It is. The Sacramento Kings are not a better job than North Carolina. They're just not. It isn't. North Carolina is one of the best jobs in basketball, pro and college level, which is why Mike Malone is taking it. He's going to build a great roster, and I guarantee you they will win the ACC and beat Duke in the next 3 years. They will beat Duke next season. I can guarantee you that under Mike Malone. If this blows up, it does. I wasn't big on Bill Belichick, North Carolina. I am big on this. Mike Malone to North Carolina is a great hire by the Tar Heels. And Mike Malone going to do great things in Chapel Hill. That's my spotlight for the week. Leave your thoughts in the comments. It is NFL draft season, one of my favorite seasons of all time. And I must say, this is by far the most boring and worst draft class I've ever scouted, but it can't ever be that boring once the NFL draft time. I don't know what to expect for next week. It's a lot of uncertainty so far. There isn't those guaranteed 3 picks like we've had in years past. Sometimes you just know the way the draft is going to go. In 2021, we had Trevor Lawrence going 1, we had Zach Wilson going 2, and we had Trey Lance going 3. That was kind of guaranteed. Let's look at last year. You had Cam Ward going 1, you had Travis Hunter going 2, you had Abdul Carter going 3. Now, you didn't know the trades were going to happen, but you knew those guys were going to go in the top 3, and that's just sometimes the way the draft works. Not this year, though. This year's a toss-up, and we're going to see some trades. We know the number 1 pick is going to be. We don't know anything outside of that. So let's hop into it. The NFL draft and what I think is going to happen. The top 5 picks. Before we do our mock draft special next week, all 32, I'm going to give you the top 5 picks right now. Number 1, Las Vegas Raiders, pretty clear cut. They're going to take Fernando Mendoza. Kirk Cousins basically announced it last week saying, when Fernando joins our team, he's going to be a great addition. So the Raiders take the surefire pick, Fernando Mendoza, a guy I'm very keen on. We're always keen on quarterbacks in the NFL draft, but Cam Ward, you didn't know if it was going to be a surefire pick in Tennessee. We still don't. He had a good rookie season, but we don't know if he's going to be perfect. Caleb Williams, we knew he was going to be a great player. He's been a great player. Trevor Lawrence, I think we knew he was going to be a great player. He's been a great player. I get that same feeling with Fernando Mendoza and the Las Vegas Raiders. Number 2, the New York Jets take Arvell Reese. Now, Arvell Reese can go cold at some times, but the Jets, they've taken big on defense players in the past. Of course, Sauce Gardner a few years ago, which was a big splash, and Sauce has had a great career, but they did trade Sauce Gardner. I think they want a guy who's really going to fill up the stat sheet now, and that could be Arvell Reese, which is why they're going to take him at number 2, get that superstar edge in New York. Jets take Arvell Reese at number 2. Number 3, I've got a big trade up right here. I think the Cardinals are upset they didn't get Arvell Reese, and the Detroit Lions make a huge trade to get up to David Bailey, a defensive end out of Texas Tech. The Lions, they've been Hutchinson for the next 10 years. They maybe could have gotten Max Crosby this offseason, but they didn't. Why not take a gander? Why not give up next year's first-round pick and try to get the greatest edge rush duo of the 21st century with Aiden Hutchinson and David Bailey in Detroit? 5 years' time, that might be what we're saying, the best defensive pass rush duo of all time. I don't know. I think David Bailey is going to be a great player. I think Aiden Hutchinson is a great player, which is why the Lions do trade up to number 3 to get David Bailey in my Schoolyard mock draft. Number 4, the Titans, they're going a lot of ways. They could take Jeremiah Love, who is going to be a good NFL running back. And, people are comparing him to James Cook, a few other running backs. Let me ask this to you right here. Would you take James Cook with the 4th overall pick in your fantasy football draft? Probably not. Would you take James Cook with your 4th overall pick in the NFL draft? Definitely not. So why would you take Jeremiah Love here? It's a surefire risk, no matter what, with a running back. We saw what Ashley Genty did last year. It wasn't special. It wasn't good. It wasn't cute what he did in Las Vegas, and that was because of the poor offensive line play and the poor play by himself. So they don't take Jeremiah Love here. They go defense. They take a risky prospect, Ruben Bain Jr. He's very versatile. He can maybe play a few sides of the ball, left end, right end, whenever you play him. He's too small to play inside, but I think Robert Saleh, the smoke of Ruben Bain Jr.'s allegations or just sad story will settle down by the time of the draft, because this is an old story. I think Ruben Bain, knows the actions of what he did. I think it's kind of been swept under the rug for a reason, and the Titans won't mind taking Ruben Bain Jr. with the 4th overall pick in this year's NFL draft out of Miami. Cam Ward gets another Miami teammate in Tennessee. Number 5, the New York Giants go with another Miami Hurricane, this one to protect Jackson Dart. Francis Magua, offensive lineman. This is another guy who's versatile. He can play inside. He can play outside of the tackle for you. The Giants' offensive line is bad. I don't see any reason to draft Colonel Tate, Jordan Tyson, any receiver here, Mekhi Lemon. I think that would be outright stupid by the New York Giants. There's a few prospects you could go here. You could go Spencer Fano. You could go Caden Proctor. I think Francis Magua is the best of all of them, and that's why the New York Giants take the Miami offensive lineman with the 5th overall pick. That's about for my mock draft. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Now, let's go around the bases in the MLB, where we learn nothing in April, but we talk like we know everything. Okay, it is baseball season. It is April. We're not going to know much, but we're still going to talk about things. I'm going to give you some things that we've seen early on in the year. Some of my takeaways in the early season have been batting averages are just down. It's just not going to happen again where someone bats 400. Right now, the highest average in the MLB, 3 weeks into the season, is Andy Pajas batting 417. Now, if you can't remember, Andy Pajas is a guy you couldn't even trust with a bat in the playoffs last year. You could only trust him in the field. So impressive for him to be batting 417, the best in MLB. Sad to see that's the best average in the MLB, and it's only about April 14th right now, and the season started only 2 or 3 weeks ago. Disappointing to see in the MLB, but yes, batting averages are down. I don't think it's because hitters are worse. I just think it's because pitchers are just ridiculous now. Most pitchers can pitch up to 100 miles an hour or better, and that's just the trend of the MLB. Maybe the hitters will adjust someday, but I don't see that day being today. Another thing I'm seeing is that, we're seeing more stolen bases in the MLB. Bobby Witt Jr. already has 8 stolen bases. We've seen it for a couple of years now with the pickoff rules changing, with the bases getting bigger, but somebody's going to get 50 stolen bases this year. I can guarantee it for you right there, and Bobby Witt Jr. might just do it. 8 stolen bases so far for the speedy shortstop from Kansas City, the highest paid player in their franchise history. Another thing that I'm seeing so far early in the season is just the ABS success rate. Only 46% success rate so far in MLB games. That's not great. It's good to have the challenges, 2 challenges a game, but the umpires are already pretty accurate. They're 94% accurate. This is one of their best starts ever to a year for the umpires, accuracy-wise, because they don't want to be wrong either. So there aren't that many bad calls to overturn, in my opinion, which is why we're seeing the ABS system fail a little bit, because teams are just saying, hey, why not? Let's go for it. ABS challenge. Players are saying it. I think we're going to see it cut down challenges later on where, players aren't going to want to waste those challenges on pitches they're not entirely sure of. I don't know the exact stat of, games that are going without using all their ABS challenges. I can't imagine it's that many, because why wouldn't you want to use them? They don't carry over to the next game. You don't get penalized that much for losing them outside of losing the challenge. So why not keep on using them? We're going to see that. But the success rate right now, 46%. And those are the trends we're seeing in April in MLB. Again, we learn nothing in April, but we talk like we know everything. And that's about it for Around the Bases. Now, at the buzzer, this week's At the Buzzer, it's about the immersion of the 2023 NBA draft class. Number 1 pick in that draft was Victor Wembanyama. Well, he's already led his team to the playoffs with the number 2 overall seed. Number 2 pick in that draft was Scoot Henderson, who we expect to take a big leap the rest of this year and next year. He's done a great job battling injuries, and Scoot Henderson is going to be that guy in Portland for a very long time. We'll bet number 3 overall pick, Brandon Miller, who just won a playing game against the Miami Heat. Brandon Miller has done a great job in his career so far at Alabama, now in the NBA with the Charlotte Hornets, and he's got 2 great co-stars with him, LaMelo Ball and Kyle Knuppel. We'll bet number 4 overall pick, Amen Thompson, leading the Rockets to the NBA playoffs for the 2nd straight year. He is a key centerpiece for them. Azor Thompson, number 5 overall pick in that draft, also in the NBA playoffs as a starter for the 1 seed Detroit Pistons. So it's cool to see the top 5 picks in the 2023 NBA draft. No busts, it looks like. And that's a great thing to see 3 years down the line. Just quick at the buzzer for you right there. Quick little nugget to give you. That's about it for At the Buzzer this week. Now, question of the day. This week's question of the day relates to college basketball and the transfer portal. As I was looking through the guys in the transfer portal, I was thinking there really isn't that huge superstar like we had last year with Yaxel Lendeborg in the portal. So I'm thinking, the portal's long from closed. Who is going to be the next superstar to enter the portal? There will be somebody who enters the portal after an NIL disgruntlement or just a disgruntlement with their current team, current college, and they enter the portal. Who is that superstar going to be on the verge of entering the transfer portal? Leave your answer in the comments. That's about for question day this week. That's about it for Schoolyard Sports Lane Frank, episode 255. Thank you for tuning in. Follow Schoolyard Sports on Instagram at Schoolyard Sports. Follow Schoolyard Sports on X at Schoolyard Sport. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review for the best sports content in the world. Be back for next week, episode 256. Stay tuned.